Hi once again, and welcome to the last in a series of 7 videos on how to plan your personal life change. Today we're going to look at your commitment, at what it is that you're going to have to give up, or what the cost will be of your change. So once again, on the worksheet which accompanies this video, and if you're signed up for the emails, you'll have the link to that. On the worksheet are 2 questions. Firstly, what are you prepared to do in order to make this change? And secondly, what is that going to cost you? Now, that could be a financial cost, but it could also be a cost in terms of the opportunity to do something else. It could be a cost in terms of what other people think of you or say about you. It could be a cost in time and effort, very likely will be. Could be a cost even of a degree of personal safety or feeling secure in your comfortable rut, let's say. All kinds of costs. Important to identify those, because every change, no matter how good, no matter how positive, no matter how many benefits, it always also has a cost, and it's important to weigh up that cost versus those benefits and decide whether you want to go ahead with the change. And you may decide that you don't, but I hope that you decide that you do, that it is a worthwhile change, that the benefits outweigh the cost. If you remember, we identified the benefits back in video number 3, the prize, and I gave you a technique there for working through and finding your ultimate benefits. So this step, like the last step, is about being realistic, about knowing where you are in relation to the change, and the biblical story of the man who was going to build a tower, sat down and figured out before he built the tower what it was going to cost him, or the king who sat down and worked out whether his army was big enough to meet the opposing army. Very applicable in this case. And those are obviously sensible things to do when you're facing an army, when you're building a house, but also when you're making a change of any kind. And let's not forget that the cost of making the change can be greatly reduced, and especially in terms of time and effort, if you have those resources, if you have that leverage that we talked about in videos number 4 and 5. So let me just sum up here what we've covered in these 7 videos. In video number 1, we talked about your target, setting your goal, knowing clearly what you're heading for, and keeping that clearly in front of your mind. In video number 2, we talked about the compass, knowing where you are, where you're going, and what direction you need to head in general in order to get there. Maybe not detailed planning of every step along the way, but in general, knowing where you're needing to head. In video 3, as I've already mentioned, we talked about the prize. We talked about keeping in the forefront of your mind the benefits, and there's a good technique of this, which I'll mention now, is putting up an inspiration wall, putting up a pinboard or corkboard, something of that kind, where you can stick up little pictures, quotes, inspirational items of various kinds in order to motivate you, somewhere that you'll see it often and think about the benefits of your process of change. So that's the prize. Then we talked in video number 4 about leverage, about applying the things that you already know, that you already do, that you've done in the past, in order to give yourself more leverage, more ability to make the change that you want to make. And in video number 5 we build on that, looking at the tools, the resources, the things that you have around you, the people that you have around you or that you have access to, who can help you with the change. In video number 6 we talked about the potential barriers, the things that have prevented you from changing in the past and could prevent you again from changing in the future if you don't do something different. And that brought us to video number 7, this video where you're weighing up the costs versus the benefits. So, to complete my worked example, my own process of planning change, I want to do a fitness program. That's going to cost me time and effort. It's going to cost me maybe 10 or 15 minutes on a regular basis, and a certain amount of effort, obviously. It's exercise. And I weigh that up against the benefits, against the good things that I get from exercise that I identified back in the prize step. The clarity of mind, the feeling good, the sleeping well, the having more energy, all of those various positives. And I think that that's well worth the cost. So I'm going to go ahead with that and implement that starting today. So set yourself a start date, set yourself a target date, possibly. That can be motivational. And go through, do the work, do the planning, fill out the worksheets, write on them, and put together your plan for success. Now, if you've got this far, if you've watched all the videos and you still haven't signed up for the email course, please do so. The reason that I say that is that you do get significant benefits from the worksheet, and particularly the ebook, and also the various links out to other resources. So it's been my pleasure to work with you to make these videos for you, and I hope that you'll continue on to my other courses and enjoy those also. I have a feedback form which I've linked from the final email, and please let me know if there are things that could improve about the course, and please let me know also if you really enjoyed it and if it's been really helpful to you, because I love to know that, and I love to let other people know that what I'm doing is working. Thanks very much.